Hello, everyone. Today I'm going to talk about my dissertation proposal, enabling and coordinating opportunistic, flexible interactions towards desired global outcomes. My dissertation is centered around this research question. In volunteer-based social computing systems, how can we meet the dual needs in ensuring contributors' experience and providing a quality of service? Let me give you an example. For example, in Wikipedia, we have to provide autonomy and self-direction to contributors by allowing them to decide on tasks that they want to contribute. For example, they should freely decide which article to edit, like information to verify or citations to add. But at the same time, they also have to ensure the quality of service, which means they have to cover various of topics and then provide accurate information and citation in each article. Let me give another example. For example, in this community-based peer-to-peer tasking services, such as like time banking apps, we want to ensure the tasks are convenient for the contributors or helpers, for example, within their existing routine and routes. But at the same time, we also want to make sure that tasks are completed in a timely manner, and then we don't left tasks incomplete. But meeting these two outcomes simultaneously can be challenging because in these volunteer-based systems, typical organizational or market-based mechanisms are not feasible because they don't have the formal contracts with the contributors to use any organizational strategies or controls, and they also cannot afford monetary incentives. Also, uh, in these volunteer-based systems, optimizing for one outcome can negatively affect the other outcome and can also have other consequences. So let me give you some concrete examples for the second point. First, if we use this quote-unquote opportunistic approach, which gives contributors full autonomy and self-direction for their experience and convenience, this often leads to incomplete or imbalanced solutions. For example, in Wikipedia, the Iron Man article, which is very famous and then it draws a lot of interest from other editors, it has 154 citations. It's like a book. However, for the 16th century philosophy article, it has only one citation. So to overcome these challenges, we can also use this human coordination approach, which manually coordinates self-directed or opportunistic contributions to reach desired outcome. However, this kind of approach requires high human coordination costs because each project manager or the person has to identify the task needs, which means the tasks that need to be completed, and they also have to set goals, and they also have to steer all these contributions towards the goals. We can use more like technical approaches, like for example, like directed approach, which uses task recommenders or routings to direct people to inconvenient or less appealing tasks to have a high quality service. However, because these tasks are inconvenient or less appealing, it often requires higher incentives, which we can't really afford in volunteer-based systems. And because these are volunteers, even if the tasks are routed or recommended to them, they may or may not accept the task. Also, in order to reach these immediate outcomes to get some tasks done, may have other longer-term consequences. For example, overburdening like small subset of contributors, for example, or over-disrupting contributors by sending a lot of task requests or notifications. So to overcome these challenges, in my dissertation, I introduced the idea of using decision theoretic approach as a new way of enabling small, opportunistic, flexible interactions, which can be seamlessly fit into people's existing routines and routes that achieve desired global outcomes in a collective manner without any human coordination cost. So to realize our conceptual approach, we choose on-the-go crowdsourcing as a context. On-the-go crowdsourcing leverages community members' existing routine and routes to complete small physical tasks. For example, delivering packages or finding lost items. On top of the challenge in balancing So we realize our conceptual approach in on-the-go crowdsourcing that leverages community members' existing routines and routes to complete small physical tasks for others, for example, delivering packages or finding lost items. On top of the challenge in balancing both the contributor experience and the quality of service, such on-the-go systems need to overcome the added complexity in dealing with people's changing mobility, which can influence their availability and willingness to help. You also have to provide convenience by fitting tasks seamlessly into their routines. Also, coordinating uncertain contributions to tasks that are spatially or temporally dependent towards the desired goals. The desired outcomes that we want from realizing our conceptual approach in on-the-go crowdsourcing is that we want to lower the barrier of contributing and thus increasing the participation, enable new services, for example, finding lost items, or delivering items for free within community, and provide help to people or systems who are in greater needs. We also want to be able to capture moments where people can best help, and we want to maximize their contributions towards the desired global goals without any explicit coordination. We also want to be able to balance this contributor experience and then system outcomes at the global system or community level to build the sustainable systems. We also want to increase the social capital and then community bonding within local communities through this low effort helping behavior. So to reach these desired outcomes, we made three core contributions in my thesis. First, we introduced opportunistic hit or wait, which is a general decision theoretic mechanism that intelligently controls over when to notify a person of a task among many tasks that they can contribute to, in ways that reasons about the system's needs across tasks and about the contributors' changing availability. So this work aims at coordinating the individual contributions towards the desired global outcomes. And second, we introduced opportunistic supply management framework, which is a general decision theoretic framework that decides optimal task notification policy to meet the task demands with the available contributors in such a way that the reasons about the effects of the policy on individual needs such as convenience, disruption, or avoiding overburden, and the system's needs in timely completion of tasks. So this work tries to coordinate all these opportunistic contributions at the global level to reach the sustainable systems. And the last part of last contribution is a field deployment study that investigates how such opportunistic or flexible interactions, which enable low effort helping behavior within a community, can increase the social capital in local communities. So let me go into the details about each part of the dissertation. So the part one is maximizing value of opportunistic contributions towards the desired outcomes. One of the core challenges in deciding when to notify a task to people is, first, we do not want to notify all the time, but only notify at the best moment, which means when people can conveniently help. And although we can optimize task assignment, but people may or may not accept the tasks, and we also do not know where they may go next or become available for other tasks. And we may also send low-value tasks or miss opportunities to notify when we could have sent the high-value tasks. So to overcome these challenges, we introduce opportunistic hit or wait, which uses decision theory to decide on the fly whether to notify a helper of a task right now or wait for better opportunities in the future in ways that reason both about the system needs across the tasks and about a helper's changing patterns of mobility. For the details about the core findings, please read our paper. So second part of my dissertation is about balancing the contributor experience and then the system outcomes. So core challenge in deciding notification policies is that we do not know what the demands will be. For example, we don't know how many tasks will be requested. We also do not know when and how many people will show up and whether or not they will accept the task. Also, we might use one fixed policy, either aggressively notify people in hopes to get things done, or try not to disrupt many people who might not be able to help. So to use more conservative policy, but then there's a risk of not getting things done. So using one of these fixed policies can optimize for one outcome, but it negatively affects another outcome. So to overcome these challenges, we introduce opportunistic supply management, which is a general decision theoretic framework that decides optimal task notification policy to meet task demands with available contributors in such a way that the reasons about the effect of the policy on individual needs and the system's needs. So last part of my dissertation will be about understanding how this opportunistic, flexible, low-effort helping behavior can increase the social capital in local communities. We hypothesized that these repeated brief interactions enabled by our systems will lead to closer relationship with other people who are weak ties or outside of their social network. And because our system's ability in surfacing all these task needs to people in different situations where they can conveniently help, we hypothesized that it can increase the number of times people help others and then the frequency of interacting with others who are weak ties or outside of their social network. Lastly, we also hypothesized that these interactions in turn will lead to increased bridging social capital in that they will be more willing to help others and feel more like being part of a broader community. To test these hypotheses, we will run 1 to 2 months long study with 3 distinct communities, and from each community we will recruit 10 to 15 people. The potential communities might be Delta Lab, DTR, and CS PhD students. And there are different ways to measure social capital, such as using tie strength, communication and interaction frequency, and generalized reciprocity. So we will use pre- and post-study survey questions to measure these, these different aspects. There are 3 expected core findings. First one is that our system will allow people to help weak ties and familiar strangers more. And we believe that this will open up opportunities for further interactions outside of the system. For example, people start interacting with other participants who used to be familiar strangers outside of the system. Meaning when they run into each other in a hallway, they might say hi to each other. Also, people will show increased bridging capital in that they will be more willing to help others, or they feel more like being a part of the broader community. For example, we expect to see, never mind. And the implications for these expected core findings are, previously we understood computer-mediated communications can help grow weak ties with information gains. But from this research, we show that the how computer-coordinated opportunistic interactions can grow weak ties with physical task supports via mobility surplus. Also, as opportunistic, flexible interactions open up opportunities for connecting people in the community, for example, interacting with familiar strangers, we should take into consideration that the potential outcomes of such interactions on existing networks and norms, and further reason about the type of networks that we want to promote. So this way we can better predict and manage this cyclical process in building social capital and prevent the unintended outcomes. So my expected contributions are, we introduced the idea of using decision theoretic approach as a new way of enabling small opportunistic interactions that collectively achieve desired global outcomes in a coordinated manner without any human coordination cost. It's like a tongue twister. And our work advanced general techniques for implicitly coordinating and balancing opportunistic contributions towards the varying global preferences. Now, this can have a significant impact on existing online and community-based volunteer systems, where one of the core challenges is to balance the needs of the individuals and then that of system and community. And our contributions to HCI is that by allowing computers to take over these coordination challenges required for completing tasks and reducing the human coordination cost, we provide these flexible opportunistic interactions that can seamlessly fit into people's existing routine and route in such a way that the performed interactions are effective in reaching global outcomes. Thank you.